Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moltrop here. Bringing another one of these MSL Top 100 games. This is game number 68. As you can see, I'm kind of just going in order right now. This is going to be a game between NaDa and NaDa, which, oh god. So, like, this is probably going to be the equivalent of a similar color TVT, but for my tongue instead. NaDa, 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 NaDa. This is going to be interesting. NaDa is going to be the purple Protoss in the right, and there he is. You can tell this is an older game because they're wearing their kind of sci-fi looking uniforms. The farther you go back in StarCraft history, there's NaDa looking young. This is from 2003. They wore these like sci-fi-ish, like cool uniform type things, and if you go farther back, they look like weird space marine type guys. Well, not like Space Marines from StarCraft where they had like armor, but like I don't know, they just had these crazy outfits basically. And it was really cool. Maybe I'll try and actually just track down one of those older games just to get a screenshot or something like that. But in any case, this is an older game, and so this is actually going to be very cool to see because this is we've been watching a lot of games for these guys from like 2005-06. When they were not quite in their prime, but this is when both these players were really in their prime. Okay, so this is going to be really cool to see this. Probably these guys don't need too much of an introduction since I've talked a lot about them lately, and it's funny because I'm noticing these old MSL games, this MSL100, which I believe was kind of this series where NBC Game just was like, all right, we're going to release like our top 100 games, right? And we're going to showcase them. And I think they might have known that, you know, they wanted fan favorite. What is that second SCV doing? Oh, he's going to switch out the SCV's building so you can get one out to do a scout. Very cute little maneuver there. Little dance the SCV, waiting for it to be on the other side, building on the other side in order to escape it out. So he can get a scout out and still keep his door sealed. Nicely done. This probe's going to come in here and get a little confused with the pathing, but then go on up and see if he can do some harassment. And it's all just luck as to whether that SCV stays in a spot where it can get harassed or not. It's gonna get back out of the way. In any case, so yeah, a lot of these MSL Top 100 games seem to be like the same players over and over again because they're the fan favorites. Which, I mean, the games are also being picked in order to show like the top games. And let's see, is this I wish I knew enough Korean to read that fast enough. Oh, the scouting SCV gets picked off battling a probe, so that's interesting. He's gonna be a little bit in the dark. Although he does have another ACV out, he can go in and get a secondary scout with if he wants to there. Probe's just chilling, just waiting to watch what's going on there. Okay, so I wasn't sure what that stat was before, but now they're showing the stats of this map, and it's just only been 3 games played on this map at this point, so no significant data to work with there. One Marine has been produced. At least he can see that Marine is oh, is he gonna get through? Oh, he gets the probe through, and the Marine gets locked out, so he can't even follow up. Oh no, probe, keep going, probe. Did he scout the factory? I'm not actually sure if he saw the factory, because he kind of stopped moving. I don't know if he saw the factory there. I mean, he's got to expect the factory, right? There's not much else that could be building behind a single Marine. But still, I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of crazy that he lifted the barracks in order to get his Marine out to kill the scouting probe, which let the scouting probe in to get a scout. So, I mean, baited, I guess? I don't know. Oh, this is kind of cool. I've actually not seen this before, where they have the... And this is so low quality, you can barely see it, but I've never seen this before where they have the camera, like the hands views at the bottom, so that's pretty cool. NaDa on the right and NaDa on the left, by the way. You can see their hands moving very, very quickly. Again, the APM in 2003 was not quite up to the same level as APM in modern day, but still very, 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 very fast compared to most people. So in any case, starport going down now as well for NaDa, and but anyways, to finish that thought before I forget it, I do hope that some of these other MSL games get a little bit of variety in the players involved, and we see some other players, and as long as they're good games, it's awesome. But Would like to see some more variety and see some of the players you don't see as often. Although I guess you are going to see better games out of the more popular players because they're popular because they do play better games. So there's that. In any case, this Dragoon is going to come in here and just start picking away at that supply depot. And the tank's going to come out to defend the SCV that's going to repair the depot. That swallowed the spider to catch the fly. We have a control tower going down on the starport as well. So looking like probably a dropship play. Could be going to drop some vultures or maybe tanks. What? Oh, I didn't. Oh, it's a citadel. Okay, the player's view was over the bottom of the game view, so I couldn't see what it was. But it's a citadel of a dune being hidden in the bottom right. That is really interesting. That is really, really interesting. He's hidden the citadel. Is he going to build a Templar archives down there as well and go for quick DTs? It's what I'm expecting is going to happen there. Now, NaDa already has the control tower starport, so he could easily make a science facility and get a vessel out. And he's going to have a turret as front door too, so he's already kind of preparing for this. Look at this. Nalra's scouting observer comes in there and camps right on top of the starport, and he's like, oh, I see you're building something out of your starport, and I see a tank next to it. You're going to load up for a drop. But he may not realize that there's already a dropship out, already with 2 tanks in it. He may realize this because he has had the observer out, and he saw the tanks moving, I believe, earlier. But we'll see what happens. The observer has moved away from the starport, so he doesn't see it at the moment, but he's building an extra gateway. And, oh, wow. This is the finals. I didn't even realize this is the finals. I'm so sorry. I usually look at the VOD. The VOD titles that I have from this old VOD collection are written in Korean, and usually I see that, you know, the number is up there, and I notice that it's the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and I didn't notice that there wasn't a number, which means it's the finals. So that's why we're on such a huge stage here. Wow, this is really, really cool. This is part of the finals, and this is game 1 of this finals. I do know it is. No, this is game 2. Game 2 between NaDa and NaDa in the 2003 MSL finals. So a lot on the line here. Wow. Okay, so when I was talking about this being in their prime, yeah, this is where one of them is going to win the Star League. So this is definitely them in their prime at this point. Top players. In any case, I have to do some more scouting. Usually it's just that, like, I haven't had a ton of time recently, and so it's kind of like, okay, when I have a moment, I want to jump right into doing the commentaries. And I do try and do some research ahead of time, but at the same time, I also don't want to do too much research because I don't want to spoil it for myself. So anyway, that's my long apology for why I didn't realize it was the finals. Otherwise, I would have hyped this up a little bit more about it. But we do have Dark Templar out now on the map. I think NaDa is going to be super prepared for these Dark Templar, though, so I'm not expecting him to be able to do too much damage. But we have a shuttle as well. He's loaded up a couple Dragoons into the shuttle, probably going to drop them into the main base. Yeah, and he's not just going to drop 2, he's going to ferry his entire army. NaDa is bringing his dropships back as well. He did some little bit of damage with them on the ridge there, killed a probe, but realized the jig was up, he was spotted. And here we go, another load of units is going to be ferried in the main base. NaDa bringing his tanks back into his own main base with his own dropships, though. Dropship pops out there. Oh, he kills the turret! He kills the turret! There's no comsat! There's no comsat! He's building another building another turret, but the Dark Templar is going to drop out and kill off the SCV building the turret. The turret is no longer building. He's dropping tanks out as well. He's using some brilliant micro. The SCVs are actually doing lots of damage to those Dragoons. The tanks dropping out doing damage as well, but the DTs are out in the base, rampaging with their cloak. There is no comsat station. The DT's going after the tanks now. He's got a turret in the corner. He's going to fall back there. Can he kill off the DTs? One of the DTs gets the tank. And is he going to pick off the other tank with the Dragoons? He might be able to. The Zealot goes down. He's going to hold. NaDa holds. He holds that corner, but Dark Templar still rampaging around his base. There's still Dragoons running around his base. He has to hug that turret with those tanks. Otherwise, he's going to lose the tanks. And so this DT is able to just kind of go crazy here. There's a SCV hiding inside the command center building that turret. That is actually just kind of a crazy glitch that's going to help him out a lot. But this DT is just running all over the place, doing whatever it can to do as much damage as possible before these turrets go back. A second turret is built. Can he pick off the turret with those Dragoons? No, he doesn't have enough Dragoons left in order to do enough damage. Unless he doesn't repair it. He's loading more. He doesn't repair it! He doesn't repair it! The turret goes down! This is disastrous for NaDa. That was his attempt to retake things, and he's able to come back over here and get within range. But these Dark Templars are running in. They're going to take the hits, but they get close enough. 1 DT on each tank. The SCV is coming in to try and repair, to try and attack. He takes out one of the tanks. He's got one last tank left, and it does go down. It does go down. I think if that Dark Templar goes back in there, it could be killed off by the SCVs. It does get killed off, but another Dark Templar, 2 more Dark Templars, the DT, they kill the turret. He's got 1 turret left. He's rebuilt the turret above his base, and so he's got 1 bit of detection left there, but NaDa needs scans or science vessels or something. The turrets are just not enough. He even has the starport. Actually, I don't even know if he has the starport anymore. He may have lost the starport to the DTs, or maybe been forced to float it or something like that. He's trying to build another turret, and oh no, is that Dark Templar within range of the first turret? It is not, and so he's just having to kind of go do these turrets one by one and just protect with just 1 tank. In the meantime, he has to be supply blocked with these Dark Templar taking out so many supply depots. And he's just got a couple tanks to his name. Oh no, he's building more up here, and more Dark Templar drop out. This turret, oh no, and it looks like he does have enough turrets up at this point. No, there's so many Dark Templar. The Dark Templar from the south went away from the turret and attacked the tank instead, and it looks like NaDa is going to lose this game. He's just slowly being picked off. These Dark Templars, usually Dark Templars are a cheeky, short-term one-off. You send in a couple Dark Templars, and if they're prepared for it, you shift over into building other units. But in this case, he just kept up the onslaught with more and more and more Dark Templar, and just killing off the turrets in order to do more damage. The Dark Templar killing off supply depots as well, and he's done so much damage. So much damage. I think NaDa only has like a handful of SCVs now. It looks like these SCVs might be able to kill off that Dragoon. SCVs are so beefy. SCVs are actually pretty good against Dragoons in a lot of ways. So, and he gets 1 more tank out. That Dragoon is not long for this world. It shouldn't be long for this world. Tank takes a couple shots. 1 more shot ought to do it. Yeah, it's going to go down. Is there a way NaDa can get back into this game? I don't see it. He's lost so many SCVs. This is just really, really bad. That could be a NaDa fan right there by the look of anxiety on her face. Yeah, so NaDa has managed to secure his main base finally after all of this time. But in the meantime, NaDa has gotten a 2nd base up and running. He's starting to get a 3rd. He's got full mining at all those locations. And I don't, if this is more DTs coming in, I don't think it's going to be effective this time. I think finally NaDa will have stabilized. He's got vultures as well. He still doesn't have vessels though. I guess he just didn't have the money to build any vessels. He was just building tanks and tanks and tanks, and didn't have the gas to build a science facility and a vessel. And oh no, he's gonna lose another turret and another depot. NaDa has built another command center in another location. So maybe he's not supply locked just by virtue of the amount of command centers he has. But I don't think these DTs are going to do too much more damage than that. But we have 3 Stargates, ladies and gentlemen, and a fleet beacon. If I remember seeing it correctly earlier, a fleet beacon as well. So NaDa is saying, you know what? If you're going to turtle, I'm gonna get the anti-turtle unit of the Protoss, and that is basically the carriers. Obviously, Reavers are significantly anti-turtle as well in some situations, but not against tanks. So usually you got to go with carriers if they're turtle out too much. And so we've got 3 carriers building right now, and that's gonna be it. I think once he has 3 carriers out, NaDa will not. Yeah, sorry. I told you it's going to be a bit of a tongue twister. Oh no! Okay, no, the vultures are there. Can they kill off the turret? He's on the spot. He repairs the turret, but it's too little repairing, and it just kills it off too quick, so this base is going to go down. And I just don't think there's any way for NaDa to get back into this game at this point. He just has lost so much mining. He's desperately trying to get all these bases up and running all over the map, but in the meantime, NaDa has not been harassed at all. NaDa if NaDa had somehow been able to have a little bit more forces and had been able to get like a dropship full of vultures out to do some harassment at the same time and kill off probes while all this was going on, then maybe NaDa would have some way of getting back in this game economically. But oh no, 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 if he loses that, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Oh, I mean, he's still not in good shape, but he really cannot afford to lose a dropship worth of units, and I think it was full of vultures. Hard to say, but NaDa trying to build some defenses up here. He's got vultures in play. He's got mines. There's an observer right overhead, though, so those mines are not going to do too much good. But they are going to slow down those dragoons long enough that you can get a tank set up, and the tank is going to be what's going to go against the dragoon. Oh, he's dragging the mines in with the Dark Templar, though. The Dark Templar goes after the tank. Is the tank going to survive? He needs to repair the tank. A second tank is there as well. Second tank's going to take over duty for the fallen tank. That was the first one. And vultures versus carriers. Who wins? Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to get to see that battle after all. The mystery remains unsolved. It's just going to be a matter for historians to debate ad infinitum whether or not vultures would beat carriers or vice versa. We'll never know. That was our chance, and instead NaDa falls back with his vultures, I guess expecting it to be too much of a victory, and not wanting to humiliate NaDa, falls back with those vultures. We got 5 carriers out now, ladies and gentlemen, if I counted correctly, which I may not have. But either way, it's a bunch. It's a handful. It's a handful of carriers, and that is not looking good at all. And that must be a NaDa fan as well. Again, super anxiety on her face as well. Not looking thrilled about this situation. And she may not have realized she was on camera until that moment, I think. In any case, vultures coming out here. NaDa building wraiths. So we could see a little bit of an interesting table turning going on if we get carriers coming out and then wraiths being built in response. There is a fun strat where if you get a handful of wraiths, and, you know, if you scan and kill off their observer that's with the carriers, then they're... The wraiths can just destroy the carriers, basically. And there are a lot of observers. We just saw 2 observers at least in play, though, so I don't know if that's going to happen. We're not seeing Cloak being upgraded. Maybe it's already upgraded, but I haven't seen that control tower whirring and making flashing lights. So not sure if that's going to happen. Finally, an academy being built by NaDa. It's a little bit late, though. A little bit late for the comm scan to really be in effect. And yeah, I just realized he doesn't have any comm scanners, actually. Zealots coming in here being dropped on top of those tanks. The turrets have been killed off by the carriers and the dragoons. NaDa forced to fall back and abandon that base altogether. And I'm not sure where he's falling back to. He's just falling back into his main here. And it's just there's nothing he can do at this point. The tanks are sieging up. They're going to be able to take care of the dragoons. But he's got nothing to deal with these carriers. He's got a couple wraiths out, but he doesn't have a scanner. He doesn't have a scanner, even if he has cloak, so he can't actually... Look at this. He's surrounding his one tank with SCVs, kind of glitching him out so he can mass repair, so he can... oh, no. And that tank goes down. The wraiths are there, but there's nothing they can do. The control tower goes down as well, so he can't even... Yeah, this is just... I mean, I hate to say it, but this has been a long, slow death. He does have cloak upgraded, but he doesn't have scanner. So as soon as the observer gets there, he's going to be able to finish off. There's the observer. He's got no way to scan and kill the observer, and so those wraiths are going to go down to the carriers. And that was his last chance, was to get some kind of clutch victory. And there's the GG coming out from NaDa. Well done by NaLra. Absolutely amazing epic play with just relentless Dark Templars over and over and over again. And there must be some... Is that NaLra's mom? I think it might be. You always see the programmers have their families actually in the audience at the finals, and they usually cut to the parents. 'Cause most of these guys are kids, you know? And this is especially early on in their careers. You know, NaLra is probably, what, like, can't be more than 20 at this point or something like that? Ish. Wow. Amazing play, though. He's going to come out here and give a little bit of a congratulation to his opponent, which is a little bit weird. You usually don't see that in the middle of the series, but that was only game 2, so there's more to it than that. But Anyway, so hope you guys enjoy that. Thanks very much for watching. And again, sorry that I didn't realize that was a finals until they got kind of into the middle of it. But very, very cool to see that. And unfortunately, I do not have the rest of the finals. Finals are just so cool. I love finals because there's so much story behind them. There's so much working up to, the players have gone through so much to get to the finals. And I love watching the Star League finals. So anyway, so cool stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and GG.